A Lineage Brand Special Edition audiobook. Lineage of the Gods, Sekhmet Chapter 1. In the endless, shimmering sands of ancient Egypt, Sekhmet's the lioness-headed goddess was already a force of cosmic significance. Revered, feared, and worshipped, she was a primal deity tied to the ancient energies that pulsed through the universe. Her power was both radiant and terrifying, balancing life and death, chaos and order. Sekhmet was an ancient goddess, older than the dynasties of the pharaohs, older than the walls of the first temples. Myths would later recount that she was born from Ra's eye, but the truth was more complex. Sekhmet existed long before Ra's creation myth gained prominence. She was the goddess of war, of the healing arts, and of divine justice. Her name, meaning the powerful one, signified her place at the heart of the divine, where creation and destruction danced in a fragile balance. As the embodiment of raw, untamed solar energy, she ruled with fire in her veins, but her essence wasn't solely one of wrath. While Sekhmet was a goddess of destruction, feared for her ability to decimate enemies in battle, she also held sway over medicine and healing. As fierce as she was in war, she was equally compassionate in restoring life. Her followers believed that just as the sun burned away impurities, so too did Sekhmet's rage purify the world of chaos. But after the fire, new growth could emerge. Her essence was tied not only to the heat of the midday sun, but also to the renewal that came with its setting. Ra, the radiant sun god, was the supreme ruler of the cosmos. As the light of creation, he governed the heavens and ensured the balance of the universe. But while Ra brought life, he also needed a force capable of preserving cosmic order on Earth. That force was Sekhmet. The bond between them was not one of mere creator and servant, but one of equals bound by the responsibility of maintaining Ma'at, the principle of cosmic harmony and truth. Sekhmet was not simply Ra's enforcer, she was his mirror. Her destructive nature was an extension of Ra's solar power, but her independence made their relationship complex. While Ra sought balance through creation, Sekhmet's path was one of force, carving order out of chaos when the laws of Ma'at were challenged. Ra commanded the sky, but it was Sekhmet who roamed the earth, ensuring that the natural and moral order remained intact. Their shared responsibility for the balance of the universe led to a deep connection, but also moments of conflict. While Sekhmet loved Ra fiercely and served him with unquestionable loyalty, her nature often led her to question his decisions. Ra, as the Lightbringer, often hesitated before unleashing Sekhmet's fury, knowing that once her power was let loose, it would be nearly impossible to rein back. Ra's growing despair and Sekhmet's reluctance. Over the centuries, Ra watched humanity slip further into chaos. The divine order that once held the world in harmony began to unravel. Mortals, once in awe of the gods, now defied their will, ignoring the sacred principles of Ma'at. Ra, who had once been a benevolent creator, grew weary of the corruption spreading across the land. He saw how greed, violence, and hubris infected the hearts of men, and it filled him with a deep, cosmic sadness. But as the supreme god, Ra could not simply stand idly by. The equilibrium of the universe was fragile, and if left unchecked, humanity's descent into chaos could destroy everything. Yet Ra hesitated. He was a god of light and creation, not destruction. The decision weighed on him until finally, in a moment of desperation, he summoned Sekhmet, the only being capable of restoring balance. Ra's voice trembled slightly as he gave the command. Go, Sekhmet, cleanse the earth of the corruption that festers in the hearts of men. Restore Ma'at, or all that we have built will fall into ruin. Sekhmet's golden eyes flared with intensity, but she did not move immediately. The task Ra had set before her was immense. It was not merely a battle against invaders or foreign enemies, but against humanity itself. The very beings she had protected, healed, and fought for now stood in defiance of the gods. Father Ra. Sekhmet's voice rumbled like distant thunder. Must all perish for the sins of a few? There are still those who honor you, who live by the laws of Ma'at. They do not deserve the same fate as the wicked. Ra's burning gaze softened, reflecting the inner conflict he too had felt. His heart was torn, but the scales of the universe were dangerously out of balance. If he did not act, chaos would soon overwhelm creation. The balance is broken, Sekhmet, Ra said with a heavy heart. The plague of man's corruption has spread too far. If we do not restore order now, the chaos will consume all. Sekhmet knew the weight of his words. As much as she yearned to show mercy, she understood the gravity of the situation. The cosmos itself was at stake, and to preserve the greater good, she had no choice but to act. The unleashing of Sekhmet's fury. Sekhmet descended to earth with the force of 1,000 suns. The very air around her shimmered with heat as her fury unleashed chaos upon the mortal realm. Her roar echoed across deserts and valleys, and wherever her eyes fell, cities crumbled. Entire civilizations were erased in the blink of an eye. Rivers ran red with blood, and the sun itself seemed to pale in comparison to the scorching heat of her wrath. But as her rage deepened, Sekhmet became intoxicated by her power. No longer was she just Ra's instrument of justice. She was a force of nature, unstoppable, insatiable. Her divine purpose blurred as the line between punishment and annihilation disappeared. Innocence, guilt, wickedness, and virtue began to lose their meaning under the blinding heat of her vengeance. Ra, watching from the heavens, realized that things had gone too far. If Sekhmet's fury was not quelled, she would bring the world to utter ruin. But he alone could not stop her. It was Thoth, the god of wisdom, who devised a plan to subdue Sekhmet. He understood her duality, the healer and the destroyer, and with this knowledge he sought to calm her relentless rage, knowing that only her own nature could bring her back from the brink of destruction.